Yeah. What's going
Give
on,
me a
great
break.
people?
Give me a break. Bring me out a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Happy day.
Hey, I just thought about what I said. Let me take that back. Give me a break. Break my piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Okay.
I just thought about it. Anyway, I don't know where that logo slogan come from, but anyway. So y'all know that y'all everybody aware of Palestine and Israel. So on Piers Morgan's channel, he interviewed Mohammed Hijab and Rabbi Shmuley. I know who Mohammed Hijab is. Hijab. He was on Mohammed Hijab was being interviewed by Jordan Peterson. And remember when Jordan Peterson he was talking about faith. Jordan Peterson was talking about God and Christ, whereas Muhammad was talking about Muslim. So this guy, so Muhammad has I think he has a big following where he talks about their, faith in Allah and certain other political things. But I want to see what is this going to be. It says verses, so I want to see if this going to be. It seems like this going to be a holy ground kind of back and forth dialogue.
Okay.
And I know this is what y'all want to see, and I'm gonna just being truthful up front. If the comments are coming negative, then we're gonna cut them off. So y'all need to be respectful on this video. I appreciate y'all. Let's watch it through.
For the uncensored debate, Mohammed Hijab is a Muslim
Hijab.
philosopher,
I remember him.
YouTuber whose first appearance on the show was viewed by more than 8 million people. Rabbi Shmuley has been called the most famous rabbi in America. He's the international best-selling author of Kosher Hate and The Israel Warrior. Both men are passionate, both men are influential, and they both have vehemently opposing views. Tonight, they go uncensored and head-to-head. We're bringing together two very opinionated, passionate, influential people, very opposing views, and we're going to have a proper debate, and we're going to see if somewhere there is perhaps more that we can agree on than we first imagined. So thank you for joining me, gentlemen. We tossed a coin before we came on air tonight, and actually you won the toss, and you said you want to go second.
I defer to my brother.
And the way this will work, Mohammed, we have 4 sections of this debate, and at the start of each one,
I do appreciate when I look at both of them of being distinguished gentlemen. Let's say I'm not talking about God in a moment. Just as two men, they seem like they're very respectable, and it seems like this is going to be a good conversation and not, I don't feel like it's going to be hostile, but it's going to be scripturally and gentleman-like as far as back and forth and, they're debating.
That takes maturity.
Yeah.
both get 1 minute uninterrupted to say what you want to say about each of the themed titles of each block. So you go first, and at the end of your minute, you'll hear a sound, and when you hear that, you end, and then Rabbi Shmuley gets his chance to speak. So the first theme is a simple one. Are Hamas to blame? You have a minute, Mohammed, from now.
Uh-oh.
From one perspective, Hamas started the battle because obviously from October 7th, even they themselves title it Tufan al-Aqsa or the flooding of al-Aqsa. But from another perspective, if you really look at it from an international law perspective, we're talking about 1967, we're talking about Security Resolution 242, in which it is actually stated that Israel is in a belligerent state because they're occupying the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza. And they have been, so therefore the war has been continual for a very long time according to international law. But let's remove Hamas from the situation altogether. Let's remove them. What do you have? You have the West Bank. And what do you have in the West Bank? You have 187 children who have been put in prisons. They have been put in prisons, according to Bet Salem, without charge. You have 44 children before October the 7th that have been killed before October the 7th in just 2023 alone. So if you remove Hamas from the equation, what you have the West Bank. You remove dominance from the equation, you have the West Bank, and what you have occupation, you have settlement, which you condemned, rightfully so. You condemned that on your show. The settlement's there.
Okay.
Oh, man, wow.
1 minute to respond.
Resolution 242 in the UN doesn't mention a single thing about aggression or aggressor. That is a total fabrication, and it speaks about disputed territories. But let's be clear. The occupier of Gaza is Hamas. They won an election in 2006, had a civil war with Mahmoud Abbas, took the Palestinian Authority officials, threw them off buildings, killed Muslims, killed Arabs. Mahmoud Abbas is afraid to go to Gaza. He's terrified of Hamas. He hasn't been there since 2007. And let's be clear, Hamas is an abomination to Islam. Sultan Salah al-Din, the greatest Muslim conqueror of all time, after whom the main artery in Gaza is named, he said that you have to allow all prisoners to be redeemed. He would never hold hostages. And remember, Islam is about fair treatment of prisoners of war. Hamas beheaded Thai non-Jewish workers. You asked your last appearance here for real first-hand sources. I'm the first-hand source. I saw it in Kibbutz Alumim. They raped women. They had sex with dead women's bodies. They are evil.
Oh, my God.
Do the right thing and call them evil.
All right, we've had a minute each. Okay, we've got a passionate
Time's
start.
up. Time's
Let
up.
me ask you about Hamas.
I want to first, before you do that, I want to commend you, Piers, honestly, because bringing me on for the second time, I have to commend you. And the fact that you actually condemned the settlements is very good. But people want to know, do you think the IDF are a terrorist organization?
No.
You don't think they're a terrorist
don't,
organization? Okay,
no.
well, if you look at the UN definition of terrorist organization, they say killing civilians for political
So you're
gain.
asking
Why
my
not?
opinion.
No, but if
I don't
the
think
UN
they are
definition, according to the UN definition, it's killing civilians for political objectives. Why are they not terrorist organizations?
Well, you've asked me a straight question. I don't think they are a terror organization.
So when you see babies like this, the ones who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
It's horrific.
So the people who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
Well, let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond. We'll both,
It's not your turn.
You can both get into this. Here's my response to that. And I thought carefully about this. I'll be very honest about my own feelings. I have a...
I don't know about you, but did you see the face when Rabbi kind of looked back at that picture? He said, "Oh my God."
I was going to say, I just admire Piers for having these types of conversations, because this is how we are able to get things out in the open and actually at some point maybe come to an agreement.
Right,
a clear
I agree.
understanding. You know, I have to do more than, I just have to listen more than anything else, because we're learning about the situation and we're learning about, the root. We're learning about how this thing came into to play over. And he mentioned 1967, but I still feel like we have to go back even way before then.
But see, that's the thing that we were people kept going back and forth with us with. They were like, "Yeah, the war zone, it's not biblical. It's not biblical." It's only that's what people are saying. It's not biblical. It's only 75 years old.
It is.
No.
You don't know the word.
No.
You don't know the
that
word.
Stuff, no, fighting in the Middle East has been going for a very long time.
Yes.
What group determines the fight? It's still the overall gist of it not being peace in the Middle East. The peace in the Middle East has not been there for
a long time. Way before we were born.
That's right.
Part of.
Real moral quandary about this, because as a father, I hate these scenes of kids being killed in Gaza. It's horrific, right? We all know it's horrific. I'm about to explain to you what I think my position is. My position is, after what happened on October the 7th, it was so barbaric, so disgusting.
So you can kill children?
Well, no, what you can do...
That's exactly what terrorists say, by the way.
Let me answer your question.
This is not a debate. This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you. I thought we were being interviewed. Mohammed, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Mohammed, you can put it down.
Don't make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
Let me answer.
Please have respect for...
Let me answer.
Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful. And be respectful.
Let me respond.
Tell me, sorry, is it a terrorist organization or not?
No.
Why not?
I do not believe so.
They kill civilians for political objectives.
You have to let me answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my answer to that. When Hamas did what they did, two things. One, Hamas knew exactly what Israel's response would be. They knew they would come incredibly hard back.
I don't absolve them.
Wait a minute. I'm not absolving anybody.
I'm not absolving them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying the West Bank
Let
is
him
not West Bank.
answer. Let him answer.
You've got 44 children killed like this in the West Bank.
This is ridiculous.
Wait a minute, Rabbi Shmuley. Let me just answer you quickly.
Go ahead.
I believe Israel has a right to defend itself from after that terror attack.
But can they kill children?
Wait a minute.
Can they?
Wait a minute. Particularly after the Hamas spokesman only last week said that they want to do this again and again and again. That's an existential threat to Israel.
Why don't they fight them man to man? Man to man. Fight them man to man. Why do you have to kill children?
Wait a minute.
Why do you have to kill children?
Let me answer you, Mohammed.
Why?
Let me answer you.
Of a ratio of 100 to 1, by the way.
Let me answer you.
100 to 1 ratio.
Oh, man, they ain't block it out.
Otherwise, it's pointless.
Go ahead.
So, I agree that Israel must defend itself. I agree they have to get rid of Hamas, because Hamas is wedded to an ideology of existentially removing
Is this
Israel.
acceptable?
Wait a minute. I'm coming to your
Is
answer.
this acceptable?
I'm coming to your answer.
This is not.
This is
No,
not even. This
Wait
is
a
not even a
minute.
conversation.
Wait a
I'm sorry.
minute.
Listen, I came all the way from the
Rabbi
United
Shmuley, let me
States for this
finish.
debate,
Let me finish.
and he will not let anyone else speak.
let
And
me
if that's
finish.
how
It's
these
not your
shows
turn.
work,
Guys,
no. You
guys.
are
It's good.
rude. You are
Guys,
a bully.
Rabbi
You just
Shmuley,
are trying to interrupt
it's
people.
fine.
I'm going to have a chance to speak,
Yes,
or
I'm
there's
going-
no point in doing this show.
Rabbi
He
Shmuley-
did
I
this
know
last
that's
time, you won't
right.
allow him to,
Rabbi
but
Shmuley-
I won't allow him to,
Yes.
because I will never be bullied by a bully.
At the moment,
Let me be
no
clear.
one. Wait a minute. No one's allowing me to answer.
I know that's right.
I
Take
believe
your
Israel
show,
has the
Piss.
right to defend itself.
Okay.
I agree that they need to get rid of Hamas.
In this way?
Who are terror groups.
In this way?
Well, here's the quandary for me morally.
That's sad. It's
Muhammad,
sad.
put the picture down.
It's
I know the
sad.
point.
It's
Get
sad.
down.
That's
Y'all
not-
got to
that
y'all got to
wasn't
move
the
through.
way. That wasn't the way.
Y'all
But
gotta
they
move
did-
through
they
the
still
conversation.
needed to defend themselves.
No. That's why I said neither side are good. Neither side are good.
Life is going to be lost on both sides of the spectrum.
Unfortunately.
So if they don't defend themselves, they're just going. But they were just going to keep
You don't
shooting,
think? And you
shooting
telling me?
rockets over there.
You telling me if October 7th didn't happen, it wasn't going to be eventually a September 17th or a June 27th or another event that's going to happen? It was going to eventually happen. Something else was going to change, and it was going to affect other things, and then people going to retaliate. But other countries aren't fighting like that with that. But so that's what I'm saying. It's just to me, no. There's a principality over these certain areas that allow them to continue to butt heads.
Well,
like
we know this is spiritual.
So,
we clearly
okay.
know it's spiritual.
Right?
Why is it a quandary, though?
I'll tell you why.
With Hamas, it's not a quandary.
I'll
but
tell
with
you
Israel,
why.
it's a quandary.
Because in war, when you declare war, as Britain did with the Nazis,
100-to-1 ratio.
No,
100
of course,
to 1.
there are
Combatant to non-combatant ratio.
a far higher number of children in Gaza, proportionate to population, than almost anywhere in the world.
Piers,
So when they go
Piers,
after
give me a
Hamas,
chance, give me a chance.
very
No,
sadly,
Piers,
Mohammed,
stop
let me
talking.
finish.
This is
Speak
Let
up
me
and
finish.
take us. No.
Very sadly.
You have you are the one who insisted.
Oh,
on
my
equal
goodness.
time. I never did,
Rabbi
but you will not
Shmuley,
respect
I
equal
will come
time.
to you
He's
literally in
gonna ask you
30
afterwards.
seconds.
He's gonna ask you a
in
question.
30 seconds, I'll come to you.
He's gonna come to you
Let me
afterwards.
finish, please. I am
Calm
in charge
down.
here, Mohammed. So my final point on this is, unfortunately, in war, civilians
100
get
to 1
killed.
ratio. 100 to 1 ratio.
Yes.
100 to 1 ratio.
Yes, they get killed.
No, not 100-to-1 ratio. It's an unacceptable
Civilians
ratio.
get killed.
Piers,
Rabbi
listen.
Shmuley, in you come.
You know, Pierce, can I say respectfully, and I mean this as no insult, I'm amazed that you're intimidated by this man. I feel,
I'm not.
well, with all due respect,
He's not intimidated.
if I can speak,
He brought me in the second time.
if I can
He
speak,
brought me in the second
if I can
time.
speak.
I wouldn't bring him back if I was intimidated.
If I can speak. In the
And he
first-
raises
in the
a very
first- in the
valid
first
question,
bit-
by the way.
No, he does not, because I have. Before he did this debate, he went on X on Twitter and said, I'm only doing it if there's equal time. And then he is violating that. I never asked for equal time. I just want to be heard. But he won't even let me be heard. Let me explain something to you. You said in a video the other day, and you can look me in the eye, you said that Jews are now trembling. Muhammad, I am not. No,
Arrogance.
don't
I
interrupt
don't
me.
like that.
I am not
Others
trembling.
said-
It's all on
others said
my
Jews.
it's all on my Instagram page.
Go on,
Now,
go
you
on.
see this yarmulke? It means
a
that
lie.
I represent something. I'm an ambassador. You're
You're a
an
liar.
ambassador of
You're a
Islam.
liar.
You are talking about a religion
liar.
that started the world's first universities,
You're a liar.
educated women. Fatima started the first university in the 9th century in Fez, Morocco.
Irrelevant.
Now we have a man who says that he's a representative of Islam.
meant to be speaking to you, right?
He goes to Speaker's Corner. He speaks about whether 5-year-old girls are old enough for sex. He says that gay men are dying of
What's that got to
AIDS
do with
as
anything?
a
I don't believe in
punishment
that.
from God.
No,
and I'm sorry
I've
to have to
never
say
said
this
that.
to the
Never said that.
listeners,
Never said
that blood is gushing from their backsides.
Where's the
They're
transcript?
better off. You know what it is?
I've never said
Because
that.
you are desecrating a great.
Well, you know what? And I believe the rabbi, because just by looking at this guy right here, he is arrogant. He thinks he knows everything, and he thinks that him and Piers are beneath him. That's the vibe he's sending off to me.
But what's so interesting is, I guess the dynamic of this particular debate is so much different from when I saw him in a conversation with Piers Morgan. It was a little bit more conversational explained, but this right here does show Muhammad him a little bit in a different light than when I saw him having a conversation with
Jordan Pierce, you mean?
Jordan
Peterson.
Peterson. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I don't know who name I said before that.
You said Piers Morgan.
yeah.
But Jordan Peterson has got that personality that's
Yeah.
going to state his point. His
And
tone
he's
will
not
change.
and he's not that kind of
He will elevate his voice to a degree, but he will get his point across, and he will say it different. Piers Morgan is a little bit more
rough. I'm gonna say a little
No,
more
Piers Morgan is a little bit more
direct.
docile to me.
Okay.
You know, he'll state his claim, he'll say it, but I don't know. Jordan Peterson, he comes off just a little bit more aggressive. Thank you. That's the word, aggressive.
Shmuley.
Now let me tell you
No,
why.
no.
Let me tell you why it appeal. Why it's here? Because he will
Bring it
defend.
back to the
I
debate.
will. I
Yeah,
will.
bring it back to the topic.
He will defend
running away.
Hamas's butchery,
You're running away.
savagery.
Running away.
He doesn't care that
Running
Hamas
away.
is an abomination
away.
to Islam because Islam.
But he hasn't done
the
that.
children in Gaza are dying because Hamas uses them as bulletproof vests.
Okay.
The
Yes,
United States and
that's true.
France
Okay.
and
I
England
believe
said
that.
yesterday that the Al Shifa hospital is a military base.
Okay.
And it's a tiny veneer.
Let him have his minute.
And it's a tiny veneer of emergency rooms.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
But underneath all of it is a military base.
have a minute
And let me
to
tell you
speak.
something. If it's true that any of these countries care about the Muslims in Gaza because they believe what he's saying that Israel's killing them, this is a map of all the countries that took place last week in Riyadh to save the Palestinians of Gaza from Israel. Do you know how many? That's Israel, a tiny thing. You know how many of them took in even one Palestinian from Gaza? Zero, nothing.
All right.
Look at that
Let me-
map.
let me-
because they
Stop
want
pointing, stop
the
pointing.
Arabs
Let
want
me-
to see.
All
No,
right,
I'm
Rabbi
pointing
Shmuley.
the Arabs want to see
Rabbi
Hamas.
Shmuley.
pointing.
Don't intimidate me. Don't bully
Okay,
me. Thank
okay,
you,
let
Mohammed.
me ask you-
Don't intimidate me.
Stop pointing.
I'm not
Guys,
afraid of
I've
you.
got a minute to ask questions. It's a
goodness.
debate.
Let him
Let's
have
come
one
back.
minute.
Let me
He's
ask you
insistent.
one specific question which he raised, which I don't think actually is your belief. I don't think you have defended what Hamas did on October the 7th.
Yeah, I haven't.
I think you share our
Are they
view.
evil? Are they
Unless
evil?
I'm wrong.
Are they
spoken
evil?
about this
Are they
before.
evil?
Stop
Are
speaking.
they
Is it me
evil?
or him I'm
Are they
speaking to?
evil?
Stop
Rabbi
speaking to
Shmuley,
this.
Is
Stop
Hamas
speaking.
you're now
evil?
doing
Stop
what you
speaking.
accused him of doing.
Stop
So
speaking.
let me ask you, what is your view of Hamas post-October 7th?
I think that they, just like anybody else, have to be examined. Have to look at all.
And what's
the
your
pros and cons.
opinion about them?
Yeah, I think that here's my opinion. Let me be straightforward about this, right? Anybody who kills civilians, anybody, whether it's the IDF, I'm consistent in this manner. If it's proven beyond reasonable doubt that these people have killed civilians in both of our faith traditions, in Islam and Judaism, in the Quran is mentioned, in the Prophet, he said it himself, you cannot kill a woman, you cannot kill a child. I condemn them. I condemn them. That's what I do. Straight away, whether he's Muslim, whether he's non-Muslim, whether he's Christian or anybody else. I've already said that. So I'm not being inconsistent here. My question is, if that is exactly the barometer that we're using, if that's the moral reasoning that we're using, then we have to say, look, if you have a 100-to-1 ratio, and that's what it is, a 100-to-1 ratio. And do you know how I got this figure? I got this figure from the IDF themselves because they have reported
Okay,
to
but
the...
let me ask you this. Does Hamas deserve to stay in power after what they did?
I don't think we should have Hamas in power. What I think we should...
Okay.
No, let me tell you...
So how
we
do you
should have...
How do you get rid of them?
We should have a Palestinian Authority with bigger armies and airports with proper tanks and with airplanes like every country in the world.
You know what? You might be right. But here's the
Absolutely.
point.
They won't allow it,
How
though.
do you get
The Israelis won't allow
How do you
that.
get rid of Hamas?
What you don't do, I can tell you for a fact, is try and kill 30,000 of them with a 100-to-1 ratio. Because if you do that, then you're committing genocide. Because you'd have to kill 3 million Palestinians.
Rabbi Shmuley?
Do you even know the definition of genocide?
I haven't said genocide.
What's it? You just said it.
No, I said
if you. What is the definition of genocide? What's the definition?
I said if you do.
You always claim to be an academic. You're always touting your Oxford credentials. What is the definition
All right.
of genocide?
You said conditional.
Genocide
If you
is
do
where.
it, I said if you do it, you'll be genocidal.
Genocide is where
I didn't accuse.
Let him speak.
you target an ethnicity for extinction. Ethnicity side murder.
Yes, if you do it. If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal
There
or
are
not? If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal or not?
Don't speak over each
There
other.
are 1.8 million
What's the Holocaust of genocide?
Muslim
What's the Holocaust of
Arabs who
genocide?
live in total peace in Israel as equal citizens. In fact, Israel practiced reverse discrimination against the Jews because the Jews are
What's that got to
conscripted
do
to
with my
fight
question?
Hamas. So, if
Would you-
Israel, excuse me, no, you will not interrupt me.
Stop
If Israel,
it,
you
man.
will
Stop
not
it.
interrupt
Stop it,
me.
man. You're
You
embarrassing
will
yourself. You're
not
embarrassing
interrupt me.
yourself.
You will not
You're
interrupt me. You will
embarrassing
not bully me. You will not interrupt me.
stop
I am
talking,
not
man.
afraid of you.
Because you know what it is.
Get this out.
You know why the energy is like this? Because that's a man that studied another man and watched the other videos of a person. So they are pre-prepared to be offended and then kind of come attacking. I think Rabbi is coming. He's coming too emotional, whereas Muhammad is coming a little bit more chill, even though I don't agree with either side.
The rabbi is emotional because the Muhammad won't allow him. He always has a little side. He does the poke. He keeps poking instead of shutting up completely and letting the rabbi say his point. then you enter talk. I mean, that's how
Well,
you
that's how he
effectively
needs-
communicate.
Well, that's how he needs to.
One
He needs to
person
poke-
says
he
what
needs
they
to
need
poke
to
back
say,
then.
you listen.
Poke back.
Then the other person says what they need to say, you listen. That's effective communication. While you listening to the person, you're listening to understand, not listening to respond. That's what most people do. That's why communication is such a valuable thing, but we don't use it properly. I understand how the rabbi feels. And Pierce Morgan is standing his ground. I like how he is elevating, and he's, because he'll cut you off in a hot, quick second.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
Pierce will
Don't tell me I
cut
do
you
that.
off.
Yeah.
But I like how he's, really trying to maintain a sense of peace here and get his question. And he's also cutting off. But the other guy is too arrogant to me.
Well, now, let me be
Stop
clear.
shaking.
Let me be
We're
clear.
getting nowhere
Let me-
if you shout over each other.
Well, then you need to control your guests, with all due respect.
Literally
Okay,
control
he
both-
said
need to control both
he
guests.
said equal time. And there's no equal
Told
time.
you.
Now,
There's no equal time on
if
this
Israel
bit,
was
right?
interested in a genocide of the Palestinians, why do they have 1.8 million equal Arab Muslim citizens who are in the Israeli Supreme Court, who are 1/3 of the medical
Is that a
profession?
question?
Do you
To
know
me
that?
or
Do you
to
know?
you?
See?
Do you know that an Arab judge put the president of Israel in jail for accused rape? That was Moshe Katsav. That's how little Israel's an apartheid state, genocidal state. This man sitting next to me, Mohammed Hijab, will not distinguish between self-defense when Hamas comes to brutalize and murder your people
Let him
versus
speak.
when an
What's
army
going on?
like
Wait,
Britain,
wait.
like France, stops,
but Rabbi Shmuley,
retaliate
can we go
to
for the-
simply
can we
protect
go back
their
to the
Rabbi Shmuley,
strikes?
I have to
You
say-
don't believe that Jews should have a right to defend
Rabbi
themselves?
Shmuley-
Say it
Don't
outright
say
then.
that.
Then say it. Do
The Jews have the right to defend themselves.
He just
They
said
do.
it.
Yes, they do.
So
of
that's
course.
why we have to
All
go
right.
into
Everybody has a right to defend
So that's why
themselves.
we have
Jews
to
have
go
the right
into
to defend
Gaza to
themselves.
Okay,
stop
wait.
Hamas.
Yes, they can go
Wait,
to Gaza
Rabbi
and stop
Shmuley.
Hamas.
But-
No, they
Rabbi
can go in, but
Shmuley.
don't. No, hey, hold on.
But-
Let me tell you my
Say
position.
it.
Let me tell you my.
So they can go in. Thank
He
God.
asked me a question.
Go
Can I
ahead.
answer,
Yes.
can I answer it? Yes, they can go into even fight. Even Abu Ubaidah, the general of Hamas, he said, "Nahnu fi intidharikum" in Arabic. We are waiting for you. That's why he's being
Okay.
said. Hold on. You've asked me a question.
Go ahead.
They do have a right. What I've been advocating all along is face-to-face confrontation. What I'm against, hold on, excuse me. What I'm against is a 100-to-1 ratio, because if you have
All right.
100,
We're
let me
gonna
finish.
come to this in block two.
Let me,
All right.
okay,
Let's
fine.
move past
Hamas
the
is
point.
hiding under hospitals.
Okay.
What face-to-face
Listen,
confrontation?
Rabbi-
Hamas is
Rabbi
shooting
Shmuley,
children who are going
face-to-face.
south.
I'm okay with face-to-face
Block
confrontation.
two
I
is
like it.
Block two is
It's the honourable way.
Block two is exactly this question.
Go ahead, let's go.
My only observation,
He hasn't had a
Rabbi
minute.
Shmuley, so far, you're being more personal and ad hominem than he is.
With all
Right?
due respect, I think that's extremely unfair,
Well,
because
you are.
every time I say anything, no, listen.
And
if
you
Mohammed-
keep answering for him, when in fact, when you
Mohammed-
actually ask him questions,
Because
he
he
gives
won't
you straight
answer.
answers.
If
But he is
Mohammed,
giving you straight
Mohammed
answers.
Hijab wants to be a representative and ambassador of Islam, then he has to take responsibility for his
I don't want to be any of that.
He actually said that
I
Islam
represent
believes
myself.
in death. You're not
Okay.
going to beat us because we want to die. We're
All right.
prepared to lose thousands
Rabbi
of
Shmuley,
people.
we're
we're taking
Is
a break.
Islam really a religion of death?
We're
You
taking
are
a break.
poor ambassador of your
Martyrdom,
faith.
martyrdom.
Hey.
You believe in martyrdom.
Of course I
Do
do.
you want to be a martyr?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to die
Martyr-
fighting
do you
the
know-
Jews?
I didn't say Jews. Who said Jews?
Okay,
do you know
you
what
want to be a
martyr
martyr
means?
where? What
does
explain.
it
Yeah, what does it
yes.
mean?
The
Martyr means someone who dies for his
Muhammad
faith.
told us, "Man qutila duna malihi fahuwa shaheed." Whoever dies defending themselves, defending their wealth,
Is that what you
is a
want?
martyr. No.
Do you want to die defending Islam, or do you want Islam to be a religion of peace? Do you want it to be a religion
Hold on.
of peace?
This child for us is a martyr.
You're right.
Do you agree or not?
Because
Do you agree or not?
Hamas is
Do you agree
using
or
him
not?
as a human
This is-
shield.
Really?
Yes,
Just like
Hamas
you-
is
okay,
hiding
okay.
behind him.
Let's go
Correct.
to the next section.
Condemn
All right,
Hamas.
all right, let's time out.
Really, come on, man. This
Let's
guy's
try
wasting my time.
not to talk over each other, because
Minute, by the way.
Rabbi Shmuley, you will go first with a minute to say what you want to say, and then Mohammed
And what's the
Hijab, you'll
question,
get yours.
please?
So the theme is this, and the question is this for Block 2. Has Israel gone too far in its response to the October the 7th terror attacks? Okay, Rabbi Shmuley, you have a minute starting now.
I just came here by taxi and passed the statue of Winston Churchill. That's in the lifetime of our parents, okay? He is the greatest British statesman of the 20th century. You know what he did when he had a genocidal threat, knowing that Hitler wanted to eviscerate, annihilate Britain? He carpet bombed all of Germany, Dresden, Essen, Hamburg. Israel has not even gotten close to that. Israel does not send its Air Force to carpet bomb cities. It sends in its military. I have a friend who died, six children, 39, because he was personally trying to stop a Hamas terror tunnel. Israel is surgical. Israel is only going after the fighters. Israel has opened humanitarian corridors for the Palestinians to go south. Hamas shoots them and makes sure they don't go. Hamas builds its military structures. Right, Shifa Hospital is this much hospital, and it's this much military. They love using Palestinians And that's why they've stolen their money. They got about $16 billion from the international community. There isn't one bomb shelter in Gaza. They don't care about the civilians at all. Israel's doing the right thing.
Mohammed, you have a minute.
What I'm saying is the 100 to 1 ratio comes from the following figures. We know that 10,000 civilians have died. Of them, according to the IDF, as reported by The Guardian, dozens, they say, about 60 Hamas died, which we're being liberal by saying 100 to 1 figures. For every one Hamas, you have to kill 100 civilians. That's effectively what we're saying. If the trajectory continues as it is, then you have to kill 3 million Palestinian civilians in order to kill 30,000 Hamas fighters. If you want to extinguish them, eviscerate them, annihilate them, destroy them, you have to do that. Now you have Herzog, who is the president that you interviewed, saying that all Palestinians, they are responsible. This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. That's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that? You know, you seem obsessed with Jewish sex. It's bizarre. Yesterday, you actually spoke about Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yes,
you
I did.
actually you said
Yes,
to
I
Ben
did.
Shapiro,
Yes, I did.
your wife's a coward. Well, you were more of a man. Is that what you're trying to
Yes,
say?
I did.
All right. Then you said that Jews have BDSM. You're speaking about sexual
I didn't say
lubricants
that.
while people are dying. You know, Mohammed, get your head out of the Jewish bedroom. It's really bizarre.
Can we get it?
Let me be clear.
gosh.
Sexual lubricants? How embarrassing.
Can we get it back? Can we get it back to the
You
topic?
speak about 5-year-old girls.
Oh!
Come on, listen.
It's like a
Let's
soap
go
opera.
back to
Let me
the
ask
issue.
you a question.
Let's go back to the issue.
Let me ask a question.
Why are you shaking? I've got a vibrator in your pocket.
Come on, this is a serious
I think it's going.
This is crazy.
Did he say why are you shaking?
He is taking-
He got a vibrator in your pocket.
He's taking this way too far.
Oh my God, this day boy, yo.
Way
I
too
want.
far.
This was not
Come
expected.
on.
This was not expected.
His daughter's vibrates in his
Come on,
pocket.
leave it, please.
You are just
It's stupid.
humiliating
We're going
yourself.
to cut all this
Back
stuff.
to the issue.
We'll cut all this stuff out. So there's no point.
Why? Why
We'll
leave
cut
it?
it
People
out.
should
Uncensored,
see what he
uncensored.
represents.
There's no
It is
point
uncensored.
abusing each other personally.
No,
Okay,
Sure.
Piers,
Right.
I want to stick to the debate.
Come on,
If you don't want to do it, we'll end the debate.
Let's get to the debate.
Right, let me ask Mohammed a question. Right, I don't disagree with you that so far it seems.
No,
hang on,
yes,
Rabbi
war
Shmuley.
criminal, war
Let me ask.
criminal.
So let me get this
Absolutely.
straight. You think
Collective punishment.
You think Winston Churchill
Was a war criminal,
in,
yes.
in standing up to the Nazis
By killing the
who
babies.
killed 12 million people?
I believe he was a war
that by doing what he did was a war criminal.
By killing in Dresden and Hamburg.
It's-
By indiscriminate killing. Collective punishment. My morality says that's impossible.
Okay, that means the British people who
That's
supported
impossible.
him
Can't
and
kill
voted him
children.
in, they were
My
also...
morality says that's
just a second,
impossible.
just a second.
That's what I
But the
believe,
British
yes.
people...
Yeah.
You believe he was a war criminal?
Yes.
So therefore, your belief is that no retaliatory action.
No,
by
you can
any
retaliate to the man, not to the babies.
Tell me a war in history
Yes.
where civilians haven't been killed.
No, I'm not saying civilians haven't been killed. It's
Just
about this
war
ratio.
or
It's about the
otherwise?
ratio. It's
No,
about
no,
the ratio.
What is the ratio?
about the
What's the
ratio?
100 to 1 is unacceptable.
Actually,
What is the
morally,
ra-
100 to 1 is
what
unacceptable.
actually,
First of all,
morally,
101.
accept.
Okay, well,
101 is an
101 is
hang
invention.
on, Rabbi Shmuley. So let me give you a ratio.
Yeah.
How many people did the Nazis kill?
I don't know.
You don't know how
million.
many
We know
Nazis
We
killed?
know they killed 6 million
They
people.
killed 12 million people.
I don't know. We don't know.
including
exactly.
6 million Jews.
Sure,
Right?
sure.
So
12 million
how many died in Dresden? How many civilians died in Germany? Do you know?
I don't know exactly.
Right. So you don't actually know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about because I know
called
in
Churchill-
Dresden and Hamburg.
You said
if
it's
he's
about you. Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
said it's to do with the
Ratios.
The ratio.
Yes.
But you don't know the ratios. When
No,
you
no,
call,
I know for a fact
when you
Dresden
call
and
Winston Churchill
What
a
are the
criminal.
numbers?
Dresden and Hamburg.
What are the
When you-
numbers?
Wait a minute,
Hamburg?
Rabbi Shmuley. When you
Dresden-
call Winston Churchill a criminal
Yeah, I believe
for
war
basing
criminal.
it on ratios, you don't even know what they are.
No, I know for there's difference of opinion among the scholars.
No, there isn't.
There is difference.
Say- tell us the
Of course.
opinions.
What do
What
you
are
mean
they?
what do
Tell us what they are.
Hold on. There's of
How many
course-
in Dresden?
Excuse me. Stop speaking. For
How
me.
many in
I'm
Dresden?
speaking- Am I speaking to him or
How
you?
many
He
in Dresden?
doesn't know the
Whatever the number,
statistics.
You don't know it all.
See,
Just put it in
exactly.
No, he doesn't.
That's
He
my
doesn't.
morality.
Rabbi Shmuley,
Dresden's
Right.
about 25,000, and at the time the Germans were saying 250,000. We know it's about 25,000 today. Let me be clear. Winston Churchill was the greatest statesman of the 20th century. He
an opinion.
saved the world from
I agree.
Nazi terror.
Yeah.
That you could live in a country that is only around today because of the bravery of that man showing no gratitude is the height of
Just
is
stick on
the
topic.
height-
Stick
is
on
the-
topic.
is the- is-
Stick on
And
topic.
to call all the
Stick
British
on
people
topic.
who
Stick on
defeated
topic.
the
Stick on
Nazis,
topic.
who
Stick on
defeated
topic.
the Nazis.
Stick on topic. Stick on
Stop
topic.
interrupting me.
Stick
Who
on topic.
defeated
Please
the
let each other
Nazis,
speak.
war criminals,
Stick on topic.
his parents, all the other
It's
people,
off topic,
war
off
criminals.
topic, off
Let me ask Rabbi Shmuley a
It's
question.
wrong. No, let me be clear.
Off topic, off topic.
Don't interrupt
let me
each
be
other.
clear. Mohammed Hijab trades in falsehoods. 300 to 1? What are you talking about?
100 to 1.
And now he says
said
he says the Jews are about to kill 3 million Palestinians.
I didn't say they're about to. I said
the
if.
fact that this man considers
You don't
himself an
understand.
Oxford academic. I was the rabbi at Oxford University for 11 years.
So that's the point I wanted to say. He has no statistics. He doesn't really quote statistics. He tells you his opinions, and he may give you certain facts based off of, I don't even know where he's getting his information from. Maybe these books he's read, articles, other news stories, whatever. But he hasn't been giving any stats. It's this man, the rabbi, and Pierce are the ones that seem to know. But he has such a strong opinion based off faith. That's what it sounds like he's coming to. I'm not impressed at all with him. I really am not. I don't like the way he's, if you're going to be a professional and you're so arrogant, you got so much clout, then run it the way a debate should be ran. You say your piece, then shut up. And let the other man say his piece, then shut up. So you both can be heard. And let Pierce ask a question. Yeah. And let him say what he needs to say so there can be some type of, coherency to everything. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear people arguing over each other, talking over each other, and your point is not being made, and we're not able to get a clear understanding of what you're saying and what Pierce is asking because y'all going back and forth. Yeah. That's not a good debate.
Like two little tomcats.
No, be quiet, let the man speak. Every time he comes in, he wants to cut him off.
This is a travesty. This is a travesty.
Let me ask you a question,
Rabbi. Did you graduate from any university?
I have a rabbinical
Debates are funny.
Let me answer.
You excommunicated.
Right,
When I see these two adults, I see the child version of these two adults.
But a true debate is where
I understand what you're going to say, but I'm going to say what I see the innocence of two little kids, two little grown children arguing back. That's what I see when I see heavy debates like this.
But let's be a real true debate is people. I mean, you may do a little cutting it off, but the person is able to get out what they're trying to say.
I see them.
It's not as much going in and at it as come on. Let's get the points out.
Let me answer. I am a rabbinical.
Honestly,
can I speak?
This is pointless.
You need to be
Rabbi Shmuley.
Cut the mics off.
Is there a limit
That's what you do.
to the number of civilians in Gaza that Israel can kill to try and
That's
eliminate
a good question.
Hamas?
That's a great question.
Yes, there is.
Thank you, but let me ask you.
Not even one. Not one beautiful Palestinian child should have to die because Hamas kicked out Mahmoud Abbas.
That wasn't my question.
And not one should have to die. What the answer to your question is that Hamas, if they surrender unconditionally, then
which they're not going to do.
Okay, fine.
But is there a limit?
Then let them allow all the civilians.
Israel
said that all the civilians can leave. All the civilians should go south. They begged them, and that's something that militaries never do. Churchill did not tell the people in Dresden, "Come on," and. You came with all your notes.
We get the point.
I'm not here.
We get the point, Mohammed. I get the point.
This is all proof that he can't debate me. So he has to use these images.
Exactly. That's my point. He doesn't have any facts.
Them tag on pictures down.
A member of the cabinet in Israel was actually quoted as saying that nuclear weapons were an option that Israel could use. No one's ever confirmed Israel has nuclear weapons. It's long been suspected. That seemed pretty clear confirmation.
Why are you against nuclear weapons?
Hang on.
If you're not against Dresden, why are you against nuclear weapons?
Let me ask the question.
No, but why are you against it?
I've done this before, this job. Let me do it.
Go on.
Okay? So when that guy says that, if you're living as an innocent civilian in Gaza, what the hell are you thinking? That an Israeli government member threatens the use of a nuclear weapon, which would obliterate pretty much all of Gaza and everyone in it?
Absolutely.
Thank you for the question. If that were true, why hasn't Israel used nuclear weapons against Nasser when he invaded?
It's true.
Well, hold on.
It's true this guy threatened it.
And the answer is no. I know the guy, and I spoke to him about it. His name is Amichai Eliyahu. Israel has never carpet bombed any Arab.
Hang on, Mohammed.
Ever.
Now.
1967 was preemptive.
He was asked a question by a provocative interview, and he said, well, if you're going to bomb the same thing, it was a Mohammed Hijab type. You want to kill all the Arabs, 3 million people, just drop a bomb. He said, well, if you want to drop a bomb, drop a bomb. He was being dismissive and stupid, and he put out a statement the next day saying that never in history would the Jews ever even contemplate doing that. Let's remember one thing. The only place in the Middle East, one second, Pierce, the only place in the Middle East where Arabs have any freedoms, Israel. The only place where they vote openly, Israel. The only place where Palestinian women can dress the way they want, Israel. And let's be clear, when Mohammed Hijab gets up and says that we Palestinians want to be a religion of death, You know, I just got a haircut coming here by an Arab barber here in London, and he said to me, I hope you defeat this guy because he doesn't represent us. We want to live. We want to have good lives. We want to be religious. All right.
Now that is the highlight.
Yeah, that's a king statement. Wow.
We want to eat halal, but we don't want to die for martyrdom. You are not a Muslim. You're an Islamist. You're an Islamist.
Let me ask Mohammed a question.
That's different.
Let me ask Mohammed a
Good for your
question.
health.
Hamas has 240
See, you watched my
hostages.
debate last week.
Hamas has 240 hostages they took, including babies,
Sure.
young kids,
Sure.
grandmothers who survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I mean, an unspeakable further criminal
Yeah.
act. We can agree, right?
Of course.
Why should Israel agree to any ceasefire so long as those hostages are still being kept hostage?
Look, my position is very clear. They should fight man to man on the
They
ground.
are.
On the ground.
Well, they are.
That fighting.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That fighting, no one can. This is.
Mohammed, that's exactly what they're doing.
I know.
Man to man, they took hostages.
Excuse me.
They took babies as hostages.
He's asked me the question.
Let him
They
answer
took
the question.
infants as hostages.
Let him answer the question.
You're getting excited here. I know it's your sexuals
you know-
are implying you're the sexual.
Oh my
Now
God.
you're back to
Grow
the
up.
sex
Leave
life.
it.
You're
Grow
getting
up.
overexcited.
Leave it
He's getting excited with me.
Let me ask the question.
Please.
You guys answer it. Mohammed, answer my question. Why, if you're Israel, would
Yeah.
you ever agree to a ceasefire if those hostages aren't released?
I'm telling you what my position is. My position is man-to-man combat.
Which is what they're doing now.
No, that part of it is understandable. Do you understand?
That's what they're doing.
No problem. But what I think is not understandable, what is not acceptable, because you said, what's a proportionate response? That's the question you keep asking everybody. My answer to you is a proportionate response is one where in which the ratios are not 100 to 1.
That's your invention.
Excuse me, please.
Where does that come from?
I'll
What's
tell
your
you what.
source?
Okay,
Tell me the source. Tell me the source.
IDF.
The
can't go to
IDF.
time.
Yeah, sure. Tell
Can't
me
go to
when.
time.
When did they say it?
They said,
I know.
I told you. 2 little boys in their grown version.
But no, the rabbi is on point.
2 little
He
boys.
is saying, "What's your source? Give me some facts." And when?
These are 2
When?
2 little.
Come on,
2
no.
2 little baby
I am
birds.
I'm clearly.
Listen. 2 baby birds arguing
I am
as in their
big on
adulthood.
facts, statistics, truths, not opinions. Opinions do nothing. What are the facts that are going to substantiate what you think, how you feel? The man is on point. This guy here, he just talking out the side of his neck, wanting to show some pictures and want to talk about the faith. That ain't it. Let's go, Rabbi.
No, you don't.
I
I
know
know it.
Jonathan
Daniel
Conricus.
Hagari.
Daniel Hagari said what? When?
Okay, so let me
say,
explain.
No.
Excuse me.
Say, when did he say we're killing Palestinians 100 to 1?
10 days ago, and it's mentioned on a website. I'll tell you
The truth is, they don't-
I'll tell
He
you.
never said this is
wait,
pure
hold on.
fabrication.
Let me
Which
ask me
website?
a source.
Which website?
Let me ask you a source.
Al Jazeera?
No.
Is it Al Jazeera?
You've asked me a question, right?
Okay.
Are you scared to hear the response?
Go ahead.
Okay, the response is as follows. The Guardian
Yep.
has reported that the IDF have said that in terms of the numbers of Hamas that have been killed, I'm answering this question.
I know.
The Hamas that have been killed, they say, quote unquote, dozens. Now listen.
That was
Hamas
actually-
or
wait a
civilians?
minute.
You said civilians.
No,
Wait
we
a
know that
minute.
You said civilians.
Wait a
Well, I'm
minute.
telling you where I got the 100 to 1 ratio.
Mohammed.
Get him,
100 to 1
Rabbi.
ratio
The
comes
Invented
numbers,
it.
the numbers have
There's
dramatically...
10,000 civilians,
the numbers have-
60. It's actually more than
You know,
100
as
to 1.
soon as you
Let
call
me-
him out on
100 to 1.
anything, he has
Let me-
no
more than 100 to
sources.
1.
He has
No one can hear what
primary
you're
sources.
saying.
Okay.
Let me respond to him.
This is a blood
Let me
libel,
respond.
Piers. The
I'm
Jews
about-
have a right to respond
I'm about
to a blood
to question
libel.
him.
It's a blood libel.
Here's the reality. I read
What's
that
that?
report. That was about at least 2 weeks ago, right?
10 days ago.
The numbers have changed a lot.
Yes, they have.
Israel now believe they've killed a lot more Hamas. They don't know exactly how many, because actually, how do you tell on the ground
By the way,
sometimes
Piers,
to the Hamas
one thing.
fighter and a member of the general population?
Do you know, according to the IDF, and we've done a study on the names that they put on X, they had 1,280 names that they put on X, and according to Haaretz, they put, Haaretz is, as you know, is a left-wing newspaper in Israel. They also put the names of those who have been killed. Guess what? According to them, 340 military have been killed, which means Hamas's ratio of combatant to non-combatant is 3 to 1.
All right.
Imagine Hamas is doing a better job in protecting civilians than Israel. 3 to 1 versus 100 to 1.
I would say that Hamas, by what they did on October the 7th,
100 to 1 versus 3 to 1.
Wait a
Maths,
minute.
maths.
Wait a minute.
Maths.
Wait a minute. Ordered by doing what they did, they ordered de facto the disintegration of northern Gaza that we're seeing.
Of course.
And
all the civilians
and the
suffering,
deaths
of
of,
course.
Have you seen
and the
this?
deaths
Piers,
of
sure.
thousands
Let him
of
finish,
civilians.
let him finish.
They knew what was going to happen.
I agree with that.
Piers,
So that's why they should go.
Piers,
Rabbi
in
Shmuley.
2005, Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza and allowed, Hamas won an election in 2006. They could have built Singapore. You know what they did? They took larger foreign aid per capita than all of Europe received from the Marshall Plan. And look what France and Britain, look how beautiful London is. They took that money and they bought bullets and bombs. They did not build hospitals, not schools. They stole it from the Palestinian people. Ismail Haniyeh is worth $4 billion.
I don't care about
Khalid Mashal is worth $4 billion.
Why are you talking about him?
Call him an evil criminal. You're afraid to. Because he won't. You see, he will never condemn Hamas because
he has condemned
Hamas.
Hamas.
Go ahead.
I've
heard him do it.
Excuse me.
Wait, no. He condemned Hamas's attack. He's never condemned Hamas.
Well, let me ask you, do you condemn Hamas?
On what basis?
Here we go. See?
Hold on.
Play
Do
games.
you accept now
Let me ask you a question.
Every answer is on what basis? On what this? What's your source?
Even if you ask me, if you do condemn the IDF, I'd say specify your context. In what exact context?
Do you defend Hamas as a terrorist organization that just went and killed 1,200 people, burned them alive, beheaded them, and took 250 hostages? Do you condemn them or not? Do you condemn them or not?
Period.
Get your
Point
head,
blank.
get your head into the debate, and do you condemn them or not? See, this is a debating tactic.
It's 2-on-1 now.
Let him answer.
Let him answer.
It's 2-on-1.